And welcome to CyberCast IRL. Today is Friday, May the 16th. It is 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And I do appreciate everyone that joined me today. We're going to have a banger of an episode, I do believe. But I first want to start off with some shout outs, to my chat, right? Everybody that's showing up here in chat, I'm getting rated by the Simply Cyber crew right now. Thanks for everybody that's there. I already see Carrie Chason's there, Luke Canfield, Super User Do, Tech Ricky, Outlaw 11, FedEx is there. Man, you guys, I love it when you show up early and we have a little pre-banter, right? A little pre-show going on. It's always a good time to hit the chat there and just kind of say hello and get warmed up for the morning. A couple of shout outs this morning. I just want to make sure to give my appreciation to the community that's out there. Starting off with Simply Cyber. Jerry Ozier, thank you so much. He had me on his jaw jacking this morning. It was a lot of fun. It always is. I enjoy his show. I've been friends with Jerry for a few years now, and I just really appreciate all that he does for cyber. He's always promoting me. So thank you. I promote him right back. If you're not following Simply Cyber, that is your call to action right now. Make sure you jump over into Simply Cyber, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow him in everything he does. Jerry's got a lot of really great resources. And you could do way worse than being a part of the Simply Cyber community. I also want to give a shout out to Anti-Siphon Training for letting me do this during my workday. All right. I started this before I was working with Anti-Siphon, but they were kind and gracious enough to allow me to continue that during the workday. It's cool. It's on a Friday, but definitely go check them out. Another great community, right? Discord, YouTube, whole 9 yards. Got a lot of great stuff going on there. So you're going to want to check that out as well. Of course, BHIS as on top of that, because Anti-Siphon is fueled by BHIS, right? That's how that works. So very cool stuff. A lot of great people in here today. I see Kathy Chambers is in the house. What's up, Kathy? Glad you get to join me here this morning. Trying to find a good spot for me to let you know how this little show of ours works. So I'm going to show you this real quickly. So if you're new to the channel, I always say this, and you need to let me know something. You see the chat, you see how Wayne's Real World says, sorry, I had an issue today. Again, just means he was letting me know he was a little late, but he added my name and I can see that really easily. So if you have a question or a comment that you want to make sure, or at least the best way to try to get it to my attention is to make sure you add my name, and very cool stuff. That way I can kind of see that. That said, Wayne, letting me know he's late a little bit today. No biggie, Wayne, no biggie at all. He kind of bats clean up for me, where if I'm missing something, he'll try to make sure that it comes to my attention. He'll pester me, letting me know, hey, so-and-so was really trying to get you to see this. And that's cool because we are humans and I overlook things. It does happen. And I'm so sorry if it happens, but what are you going to do? That is life. All right. Let's get back to it today here. Whew. Lots of cool stuff. We're having a great conversation over at Jaw Checking on Simply Cyber. But I do want to check the lovely chat room today, see what's going on. We have Dream Logic Inc. says good morning and hello. Good morning to you as well. Wayne, we got your message. Space Tacos, happy Friday. Happy Friday to you too, Space Tacos. Good morning, Code Brew showing up. Marcus Kyler, man, Legrat is in the house. What is up, everyone? Fred on. Let's get on with the morning pour, shall we? Shall we, Fred? Fred, I like the cut of your jib, sir. And that's right. We do a little thing around here called the morning pour. We grab the camo cup, woodland camo, as God intended. And then we get ourselves a Monster energy drink. If you cannot tell, I'm kind of a fan of the Monster energy drink. I have found them to be tasty and delightful. And that is my thing. And now we like to, it becomes a morning ritual, as it were. It kind of gets the show rocking and rolling to do the morning pour. A little ASMR for you first thing. Today's show is not sponsored, but will be fueled by Monster Energy Ultra Vice Guava. Guava. Right? It's like, at least it's not guano. That would be bad. The worst selling monster in history would be Ultra Vice Guano, but this is guava, which I like this can. I mean, look at that can, right? The colors on that just drew my eye. I said, "Oh, I got to try this bad boy." All right, are we ready, kids? Let's get the microphone situated. Let's see here. Get the crack. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one right there. and begin. Ooh, almost got a little too carried away. I might have done too much ice today. Oh, it's getting to the brim. I can't tap it. It's so full. Okay. All right, I'm getting the flavors. This is a reaction video, actually. Give it the tap now. Oh, yeah, there's heaven. Oh, there it is. Okay. Man, what is that? That is... At first, I wanted to say it was kind of like grapefruit, but now it's more like tangerine or guava, right? It's guava. But man... Get a little more on the palate there. I think I do sense a little bit of grapefruit there, which I normally don't like. I was afraid, honestly, that this was going to be the first, like, well, you know, hey, yeah, but it's actually fairly tasty. It's very fruity, and of course, it's got that effervescence to it. That's not bad. Okay, I'm pleasantly surprised with this one. All right, so let's see here. Let's get into the chat. That's a tasty monster, by the way. I would recommend. I was really expecting, I'm like, is this gonna be the first one? Is this gonna be the day where I'm like, oh, you let me down, Monster? But no, they did not let me down. Thank you, Monster, for continuing to put out a high quality product that I enjoy. Ting, right? Okay, let's see what's going on in the chat room today. Let's see if I've missed any good questions or comments. I want you all to be heard, right? So I'm seeing Steve Young, fueled by Monster. That's right, I am fueled by Monster. It gets me going in the morning. Let's go with the morning pour, shall we? Yep, Cherry Chasin, I cannot wait to see what monster you have today. Well, now you know. Love the beard, says TJ Artist. Well, thank you much. I take pride in the beard. I had no, other than I manicure it. That's about all the credit I can take for the beard. It's just genetics, I guess. My mom's side of the family are bearded huskies. My dad's not so much. My brother grew a pretty good beard, but I guess he gets it from his mom's side too, right? Let's see here. I can't see your cup on the show for some reason. Were you unable to see the cup? Oh, you know what it was? I had it sitting on the ground. And then I lifted it up a little bit. I'll make sure to go higher next time. Thank you for letting me know. I've moved my desk back just a little bit. I was a little closer to the camera. I thought, let me pull back. I don't have enough of my person in the camera shot, so I backed it up a little bit. I might even back up a little bit more in the next episode. Let's see here. Carrie says, I got the color right with the lid. You did nail it. He was betting it was red. He was betting on red. What do you get when you cross a pig and a cactus? Barbecued ribs with prickly sauce. Good dad jokes. Dave O'Neill, I love coffee. So today is Black Rifle Coffee Vanilla Bomb. That actually, so I do not like coffee, but I do like coffee infused milkshakes, right? And that sounds like that might be what that is. And I might be down with that. FedEx had something going on. Oh, we can tell it's full the color. It's so guava. It's true. Let's see here. Wayne's Real Will says, look at all the big culinary terms going on in the chat room today. Steve Young, we assume you color it gray. Carrie says, I was going for a funny since it's camo. Oh, gotcha. Well, good. I'm glad you clarified that because I was going to, I got to make sure to put the camera. I don't want the, you got to be able to see it. I have an idea that, I don't know that I would ever mass produce merch. But I would love a shirt of the morning pour of the microphone and the cup and the can with my face just doing crazy things. I even drew it out. Let me see if I can find that. I was like, this is a fun idea. And if I can get somebody to help me make it. There it is. don't know if you can see that very well. I'll make sure there's no, yeah. There's the shirt. That was my idea. Having fun. Let's see here, chat room. What else you got for me today? David Toohey says, do you know any websites that give a good explanation on IPv6 addressing? It's included in the CCNA exams. That's a difficult thing to tell you. When you use terms like good, right? That's a qualifier that is subjective. I can only tell you what I think is good. Honestly, I probably would just go with Cisco. I would look up something from Cisco. You know what though? This is where I might tell you to. Let me see here. Let's go looking. Let's go looking. I was looking at this one. We'll maybe look at that later. But let's see here. IPv6 addressing. I mean, cannot AI explain it for you pretty good? I think AI would be able to do that, right? IPv6 address uses a 128-bit address representing 8 groups of 4 hexadecimal digits separated by colons. All right, we already got some information out of the gates. This format allows for vast address space. Yep. Like they say that you can have more IPv6 addresses than there are like sands on the beach. You know what? Grains of sands on the beach. Like it's insane how many addresses you can have. You can have an address for every hair on your head if you want. Some craziness like that. 128 bits, 8 groups. It's telling you what all those mean. Hexadecimal representation, colons, group etc. colon example. Like I haven't done IPv6 addressing in a long time because we're still pretty headlong in IPv4 and doesn't show any, or at least much signs of slowing down. But it's, as far as like, these are the key pieces of information about it. That's a pretty good breakdown in my estimation. So I would wonder, like, what about it? Is there something specific about it that's giving you trouble? If so, maybe then we can recommend somebody. And of course, chime in on whether or not you knew of somebody that does a really good job of explaining IPv6 addressing. I haven't done it. I would have to go and I would have to collect my thoughts and create. And maybe I will. Maybe I'll do an episode on IPv6 addressing just to help people out. But there you go. I just recommend looking at, like AI stuff. It does pretty good at breaking things down into simple, digestible chunks. Let's see here. Carrie Chase and chickens don't like this day because it's Friday. F-R-Y, fry, because we like fried chicken because it's delicious. I'm sorry, chicken. Man, you just rolled the genetic lottery to be the tastiest thing on earth. I'm sorry. David O'Deal says, I would wear that shirt. Heck yeah. What's up, David? Carrie says, subnetting is supposed to be easier to subnet as well for IPv6, right? Even though you don't technically even need to, right? But yes, you still do. You still can. Maybe that's where it gets a little more difficult. All right, cool. So let's see here. Now that I'm all cut up with chat, thanks everybody for joining us today. Let's talk about what's going on in my week. Tomorrow, I am going to a little town in Florida called Tampa. And there is going to be a get-together, a meeting of the minds, as it were, in a university even. Fancy that. And it's a little group called BSides. If you've never heard of BSides, you probably got one in your area. If you don't, at least somewhat close. But I'm going to BSides Tampa tomorrow. Now, technically, BSides did start today with their training day. They're having training today. So if you wanted to get some training and get on that, you kind of missed it. But tomorrow is the actual conference. And I'm really looking forward to it because I love getting together with, like, FedEx is going to be there. I think Kimberly Can Fix It is going to be there. And you know who else is going to be there? John Strand is going to be there. Jason Blanchard's going to be there. The BHIS is going to have a booth. I think we are a sponsor at some level of BSides Tampa. So they're going to be running the booth there. It's going to be great. I'll probably stop by the booth a couple of times, maybe even run the booth for a little bit to give some people a break. so they can get off their feet, grab a Coke and a smile, and enjoy the conference themselves. But mostly I will be enjoying the conference, having a great time doing so. And I love going to BSides Tampa. Has been one of my favorites for a few years now. And it's going to be a lot of fun because it always is. It's typically rather large. I think last year we had right around 2,000 people there. So they got a fire shirt from them last year. I wear that shirt all the time. Not only do I love the design, so our BSides in Tampa is really on point. I see BSides St. Pete is starting to pick up their game as well. BSides Orlando. So wherever you're at, look around for a BSides, and it's just a bunch of people getting together. And you get to have great conversation. You get to meet people. This is a phenomenal way, by the way, to get your name, to get your face, to get yourself out there. It's time to crack out of that comfort zone. I know, listen, I get it. Ain't nothing harder than trying to get into a group situation where you have to actually use words and talk to people and not be awkward and weird. Because listen, fun fact, I'm an awkward and weird person. But I've learned through trial and error how to not be so awkward, or maybe that's not the right way to put it. I've learned how to hone and use my awkward and weirdness to my benefit instead of my detriment. Yeah, right? Think of it like a video game. You are trying to use your skills, right? You're the bard, you are the, archer, you're the mage, you're the whatever. Use those specific skills that are specific to you to make a name for yourself, to get out there and meet new people and get new friends, people that are passionate about the exact same things that you're passionate about. I guarantee you talk to enough people, you're going to find someone that's going to be like, we are just cut from the same cloth. We are birds of a feather. And let me get your info. Every year I go, I meet somebody and information is exchanged. We have a good time, and they become kind of like what's that word that I'm looking for? Not an associate, but where I kind of know them, I'm familiar with them, and then that starts to grow, and maybe into a friendship, maybe into even more like that partners and stuff. Like, I care about what's going on with you and your life, and you care about what's going on, and we are going to support each other. You know what I mean? Like, I've done that with a lot of people, and you can too. You just got to get out there. So definitely go to a meetup. And this kind of brings up another good topic of conversation, because I was thinking about this the other day about how to learn and how to learn well. I'm always constantly thinking about, how can we learn better? How can I teach better? What are the tools that I can figure out? If I analyze learning and teaching and everything, how can I figure out the shortcuts, right? How can I figure out the Konami Code to help people learn stuff, or to help myself learn new things as well, right? So I'm always looking at it from both ends of the spectrum, because I teach and I'm also a lifelong learner. So to me, one of the big things that just kind of dawned on me, and I don't know why I never put this together before, probably because I was so focused on how to deliver training, I wasn't thinking of it so much from my end of the spectrum of what makes me learn better. And group sessions, right? Like coming up with a group of people. So this is where it kind of jumped back to. When I was young, right, I did not have a lot of friends that were at least into IT, right? I lived in a very rural area. So like my friends that I went to school with and things of that nature were very dispersed. You had to drive 15 minutes to get to the closest person's house, kind of thing. So and then of course, as you get a little bit older, you get into working, and now all your time goes to work, and so on and so forth. So I didn't have a lot of friends. I had close family, but not outside friends. No one that was into IT and stuff like I was. And so when I decided I want to make IT my career, I went to ITT Tech. And ITT Tech, I thought, this is going to be it, right? All the commercials on TV telling you how great life is going to be after you get your degree, and all the money is going to be flowing from the mountaintop, manna from heaven. And, I bought into it. So I went, I signed up, signed all the loan information. I get into class, and you start learning stuff. Yeah. But I really wasn't learning that much that I didn't already know. Of course, it was the first levels. So you kind of build your way up. They don't start you off in the middle of things, right? They got to start you from the beginning. They have to assume you know nothing. And I got that. Outlaw says the nailed the pronunciation of rural, the trickiest of words. It is indeed. It's a fun word to say. Rural, rural. Anyway, side note. But there I met a couple of people, right? And we realized that we had some things in common. I was like, oh, cool. People that speak my language, that are passionate about the same things I'm passionate about. Long story short, we started a Linux user group because we were super into learning about Linux. I was like, already back then, this was 2001, but I'd already started kind of like fiddling with Linux in the late 90s, and then first got my first install in 99. By 2001, I'm kind of immersed into it a little bit, but I don't know a lot about a lot, or I don't know a lot about a little, right? And I finally meet people that kind of knew a little bit about something, and I knew a little bit about something. We're saying, hey, let's start a Linux user group. And we sent out a mass email. We got permission from the school to start the group and use the library to run or we were using a classroom. And we sent out this email, and the first time, the first meeting, we probably had 60 people there. It was a lot of people. By the second meeting, it was about 20. By the third meeting, it was maybe 10 with me and the 3 people that started it with me, right? And that became the core group. But us 4 that started it and the 3 or 4, 5 more, whatever it was, that would regularly attend in some fashion, we learned a lot. We learned so much that by the time I got to the spot, into like the class that was on Linux, I knew everything in the book. I could look in the book and I was like, yeah, I know all this stuff. And so much so that my professor was like, hey, you seem to know this really well. I said, yeah, well, we have the Linux user group here, and we're just neck deep in Linux all day long. He goes, you could do me a real favor. I go, what's that? He goes, I have a lot on my plate right now. Can you teach my class? And I'll give you an A, and that will free my time up. I was like, absolutely. That sounds awesome. So I would teach class for him on that night. And that's how quickly I got ramped up into Linux from being in a group session. So while, yes, doing things like this is also good, getting with some people, finding some people in your area that want to meet up, find a spot, go to the library, go to somewhere, do something, meet up at a stinking public park and bring your laptops and a Wi-Fi, or not Wi-Fi, but like a cell hotspot or something. Whatever it takes, man. But get some people together that really like make a call to action out in some way, shape, or form. It's a really, really good way to learn really fast, because somebody's going to know something that you don't know, and they're going to be able to be right there and go, oh yeah, do this, go here and spin that up. Oh, I can help walk you through that. Or maybe you're the one helping somebody walk through something for the first time. And that is just such a great learning experience. I highly recommend it. Bringing it all the way back to BSides, going to things like a BSides conference allows you to meet those people that are in your area. Create that. And if you had to do it over Zoom, that's fine too, right? Do it some way. Google Meets, I don't care. But find a group of people you really click with, you really connect with, and make that your core group, man. Make that your A team. And you all get together, set it as a meeting, and go, okay, what'd you guys learn this week? What are you doing? What's something that we should pick up? What's something cool that you picked up that we could pick up? And vice versa, right? That is such a great way that I think, because as I thought through it, and every time I did it, every time I got with a group of people that we were super passionate about something and wanted to learn, and we did it in a group style, learning was fast because you had to keep up, right? And if you were stumbling, someone could come along and go, oh, here's what's up. Oh yeah, you're missing that. You're doing that. Blah, blah. So it was really fast. And then if you take that into, as you get into the business, right? Talking with some pen testers from Trusted Sec the other day on our anti-siphon student AMAs we do on Tuesday in Discord. So we had some guests in from, we had about, I think 3. Yeah. We had 3 pen testers from Trusted Sec, and they were like the guest AMA people. And I asked them, because I always like to ask, how are you skilling up? You're already in the work. So are you getting certs? Are you taking courses? Like, what are you doing? And they were all basically saying, well, we learn because of our job. Our job teaches us the new and next thing. And I'm like, interesting. And then I realized that's not the first time I've heard this answer from someone. So pen testers and other people in other security fields, they tend to learn because why? Because they're collaborating with their peers. Hey, I was on a test this week and blah, blah, blah. I saw this thing. Have you seen that? Right? And they're talking with each other. They're writing reports. They're doing peer review. They're doing all this stuff. So they tend to learn so much more organically, and don't necessarily, not that they still don't get certs and things. They do, I'm sure. And I know for a fact, right? But that organic learning is killer. So I cannot recommend enough that you get into a community, find a core group of people that you really connect with, and then kind of do that also on the side where you're getting together in some way, shape, or form. I think in real life is the best way to go about it. But if you can't, no big deal. We always have things like Zoom and whatnot. So, man. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that's something that you're going, how can I get into a group? I think that is a good idea. And just in my experience, that has been great. And I hope that's something that you can use in your life. All right, I'm going to check out chat. What's going on in chat? What have I missed? Where did I leave off? All right. I didn't miss much. You guys are just intently listening, maybe. You're just soaking it in. The pain. Oh, I love that name. IPv6 gets invented. Trillions of addresses. We'll never need this many. Take as many as you need. Yeah, that's about how it went, right? Team SC Raid, Dan the Man. What's up, Nerdpocalypse? Thank you so much, you guys, for everybody coming in here and hanging out with me today. Phil Stafford says BSides San Francisco was amazeballs this year. I'm paraphrasing. Rose Ugorgi, connecting from Simply Cyber. Well, thank you for coming in today. I appreciate you showing up. Let's see here. Oh, Phil Stafford says volunteer to help at a BSides. Great idea. Phenomenal idea. It doesn't have to be BSides. Volunteer, not just in the real life. Volunteer on Discords, like help out, be a moderator, do things like that. It's always a great way to get your name out there and start meeting people. Duke Norris had to cut it short today, man. I have gutters being installed. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Adulting, 1 star, would not recommend. I guess it beats the alternative. Let's see here. What's going on here? Thanks for Wayne for letting us know that Alan Harden has a good class on Udemy that covers IPv4 and 6. Let's reallocate the awkwardness skill points into charisma. Darn right? Turn it into a superpower. You are in control. You are the master of your own destiny. All right, let's see here. We got Carrie says, I'm still learning and I will find that group soon. I've had someone put my information to employee director for a job, didn't hear back again. You just keep on trudging, bro. Just keep on, head down. I like to put it like this way. You know how we always talk about how in the community we have a lot of people that are neurodivergent and ADHD and ADD and all these things. Have that with the emotional hit to your ego that it takes when you don't get a call back. Just I don't even recognize that it's happening, right? I don't even see it. I'm so focused on if it's not that, I'm on to the next thing. If it's not that, I'm on to the next thing. It's not that, I'm on to the next thing. You just have to learn to suppress those bad feelings that kind of come up. And so much so that you don't even pay attention to it. It just reflects right off of you and you just keep rocking. So just keep your head down, keep rocking and rolling. If you keep going, it will happen. I've just seen it happen so many times. Wayne's Real World, he thinks this is great advice. Well, I'm glad. I hope it is. Let's see here. FedEx says BSides are the best low-key conferences, but if you're looking to volunteer, I know several conferences that need help. Very cool. Reach out to FedEx, man. He's got some stuff. Oh, he says that, just so you know, Josh Mason, I get away with rural, but I can't do Josh Mason, is looking for volunteers for Noob Village at DEF CON this year. And I also have some of the goons there looking for helpers. Very cool. Reach out to FedEx if you're looking to volunteer at DEF CON. Very, very fun. Kathy Chambers, when those things happen, I will let myself get pissed for a moment and then immediately move on. Ain't got time for that. Darn right. That's exactly how you work. Carrie says, thank you, and I will let it slide off my back like a duck, and then I can go quackers. Oh, I think I missed one. Yeah, Dream Logic Inc. says you engage so naturally, you're not boring, so authentic. You like it. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy the show and how I try to be. I think that's what makes me, like, my superpower is being engaging, I guess. That's why I feel like I'm a decent teacher. A lot of people tell me they really enjoy my content, especially when it comes to my training content. They always tell me it wasn't boring. I never found myself like tuning out. It was always fun. So, that's why I kind of just pivoted into training more, because I was good at it, apparently. And I'm not trying to, this is what people were telling me. You're good at this. I like what you do. I like how you do it. And it was helping people. And I liked that. I liked that so many people are saying, I got my certification because of you. I learned how to do blank from watching your training. And thank you so much. And I've seen, you can ask Kathy, right? We used to joke so much. I was the kingmaker, right? I can't tell you how many people, the first time I met John, shameless plug, he was like, I love your stuff. It was so great. I've learned so much from you. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're John Hammond. You don't learn nothing from me. I learned from you. That's how this works. My friend Jacob, I met him at BSides last year. He was just like, he is so smart. It's not even funny. And he was telling me, I've learned so much watching your content. I'm like, that's crazy. So I just want to keep putting out cool training content for you guys. Speaking of, I've got that Python course going on in my YouTube. So if you want to check that out, I put out a new episode today. We're actually how to read files from Python and use that as a dictionary for a brute force attack. So a lot of fun. All right, let's see here. What else do we want to talk about? Okay, this is cool. Okay, we're 10:30. I think this is a good place for this. I'm reaching for the monster can instead of the thing. I don't have any room to put it on the wall. I got to buy another Funko Pop, so I have more room to put the can up. But I'll save it because I'll go tonight and look for. I want to get a Dragon Ball Z one because I love Dragon Ball Z. But I want to run something by you, chat. I want to ask you a question, get some input from you. If you're ready, here it goes. So a lot of us, myself included, obviously, here we are. CyberCast IRL starts around 10 o'clock. Not around, it does. Starts at 10 a.m. Eastern. Simply Cyber stuff is going on. Right? I think Jerry starts at 8. He ends at 10, right? So he's got two different shows. He's got the Daily Brief and then Jaw Jacking on Fridays. Sometimes it's just the Daily Brief, and it starts at 8 o'clock. You've got like our anti-cast over at Anti-Siphon Training we do on Wednesdays. The anti-cast itself starts at noon, but the pre-show banter starts at 11:30. All this stuff. And then we've got, what else do we have going on? Tuesdays, we do the Discord AMA. That's at 12 o'clock. I think of Red Siege. They've got their Wednesday offensive. I believe that starts, what time does that start? I want to say it's like 12:30. I forget off the top of my head what time that starts. But so many things kind of going throughout the day. I thought, let's do an evening show. CyberCast After Dark, right? Maybe that's like 9 p.m. Eastern. That's where my mind is on this. Where the kids are in bed, or at least out of your hair a little bit. The day is wound down. You don't necessarily have a ton of work things that might be drawing your attention away from being able to be engaged or whatever. And just having some fun in the evening time once a week. I'm thinking maybe a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Heck, maybe a Monday. I don't know. That's what I'm here to ask you. What would be, A, do you think that's a good idea? And B, do you think, what would be the good day time kind of for a CyberCast After Dark live event? maybe do some interviews on that. Maybe, change the format up a little bit, have some interviewing going on. I know a few people that might be interested in coming on and just chewing the fat, as it were, and having a good time with that. So there you go. I'm going to throw that out to the chat. And while you do that, I'm going to take a sip. And you guys throw your answers in the chat. That just shot down my windpipe. Hey, now I need these vocals for the show here, Monster. Don't try to sabotage me. All right, let's see what chat's got going on. They say, LeGrasse says, "You have good reason to buy a Funko Pop." It is, right? I think most of my are from my kids. They love to buy me one, like on Father's Day or Christmas or my birthday or something. I love seeing some good love for Kathy out there from Dream Logic Inc. Let's see here. TJ Williams says, "Met Hammond in person yesterday. Quite a moment. He's such a cool dude, right? John, ride or die, right? He's a really good guy in real life, and he does great YouTube content. He's smart. He's so flippin' smart. It's not even funny. It just makes you go, why do I do this? I'm just gonna hang it up." Let's see here. John Hammond is the best. He is. He's such a great dude. Pranava Reyes says, "Nah, I'm just joking. I really love the way you talk and explain stuff. It is amazing." Well, thank you so much. Make a mosaic with them. That would be fun, right? That could be a good time. I got to know about you from Network Chuck. Wow, that has been a while since I've been on Network Chuck. Yeah, back a few years ago, Network Chuck contacted me and was like, I don't know how he knew about me, but he thought about me for an interview. I think it was right as one of the CEH, like version 11 or 12. I think it was 11. It might have been CHV. I think it was it might have been V10. Heck, I don't remember now. It was a few years ago. He was like, "I want to get your thoughts on that." I was like, "That'd be awesome." So I went and did an interview on his show. I also I've done quite a few kind of like demonstrations, like hacking demonstrations on David Bomble's show as well. That was a lot of fun. I haven't talked to David in a long time. He did reach out to me when I was let go summarily from that place that shall not be named. So I appreciate him reaching out to me when that happened. He didn't forget about me, and I don't forget about you, David. Thank you, sir, for your support. Let's see here. Wayne's Real Workout. Okay, my challenge, check out Python class next week. Post I did Python. Oh, that'd be cool. So yeah, he's saying Wayne is call to action. He's saying, "Hey, go check out the Python class that I'm putting in YouTube. There's a playlist. So just go to my channel and check out the playlist, and you can do them because I separate them out. I've seen a lot of Python courses that are like 5 hours, one video, 5 hours long. And I was like, no, let's take this a bite at a time. So I put it in a playlist with episodes. New one today. I'm on episode 10 already. And the whole thing was to make it contextual. What am I doing? Let's go here. I've shown this before, but I'll show it again. YouTube.com/@RantDanielLowry. I will show you what are we doing. There it is, playlists, right? I will go to it and learn Python and hit view full playlist. There it is today. I'll throw this in the chat. Copy, pasta. Shameless self-promotion. Paste. There you go. Hello. For whatever reason, it didn't. It's not entering. I don't know if. Oh, because I'm a moron. That's why. I put it in the emoji search. I so dumb. For reals. That's so funny. But there you go. Like I said, I like to break this up into different. I don't want to play. There you go. No, thank you. Into just bite-sized chunks, right? So we're building something. I started off not doing that. It was just going to be more traditional. Hey, here are printing and using variables. But then I quickly pivoted into this is going to be boring. I don't like boring. I want to build something fun. So we're brute forcing our way through a web app login using the BWAP as our target, as it were. And yeah, and just learning what we need to do as we build. Like, it's very pragmatic. It's more like, hey, you know what I need to do now? I need to get input from the user so I know blank and get that information and use it with inside the code. Well, let me teach you how to do that today. And now that function is there in our tool. Next episode, we'll add more functionality. Okay, now I need to be able to, so like, hey, here's how to grab input. Here's how to do a multi-line print. But it's for the purposes of getting the URL that we need to target, right? And then the next one is import comments and using try except. Oh, you know what? I want to import things from the Python standard library. Very cool. This is how you do that. And here's why we're doing it. So here's the libraries we're importing. I think we're importing with this one is going to be requests, because we're going to make HTTP requests. Cool. Oh, look, HTTP requests. This might not have been requests, but hey, here's how to make a comment. And we're going to do try except at this, try this. And if it doesn't work, do this kind of thing, for when you know that there might be errors and you can kind of like gracefully error that out. We got this whole HTTP request. So, hey, I need to make a request to that login page. I want to do it programmatically with Python. Cool. And then we're going to learn how to do if-else statements and use that logic within our code. Again, continually building a tool that is something that is useful and that you want. You know what I mean? It's not just, hey, here is how to make a request. Look at this. We got a web page. I get it why people do it that way. That's just not my style. Then I realized I was making some, because when you're just building things, and by the way, I'm doing most of it on the fly. I'm just coding as I go. And so I was making like dumb, like, oh, that shouldn't go there. And this should, and somebody even I even saw it at the end of this episode and was like, hey, I need to refactor. Hey, it's a good episode. Let's talk about refactoring and optimizing our code, making it better. Again, more, and then we're making post requests using HTTP. Oh, I need to throw data at, right? Because I need to give it the username and password for the login form. How do I do that in Python? Going back to using requests and talking a bit about HTTP verbs and methods. How to use lists and loops, right? Lots of, and basically just learning it as we build. So that was my idea behind this course. So if you want to learn some Python, you might enjoy it. If you do, cool. If not, I get it. Not everybody's cup of tea. That's cool too. All right, I want to hear more about what you guys think about CyberCast After Dark. So let me jump up in here. Got FedEx saying, hell yeah, I love some Dragon Ball Z. How can you not, right? It is fire. Me and my kids are watching it right now, and they are just like, this is so awesome right there. They're like, can we watch Dragon Ball Z today? I'm like, does a polar bear pee in the snow? Absolutely, right? Let's see here. Wayne's Real World says, okay, that was his challenge. Oh, that's right. Going back to that, he's saying, watch something and say, hey, I learned Python this week, next week. Kathy says, okay, Daniel was on his show many years ago. That's right. FedEx Wednesdays is perfect for that day. Okay, finally getting to the After Dark stuff. Or maybe after talk about the news on Mondays. Oh, yeah, I got you. Because that's right. BHIS does their Ain't Talking About InfoSec news stuff starting around, I think it's at 4:30 Eastern PM. So maybe that evening doing some news talk. That's an interesting idea. Thanks, FedEx. Tech Ricky says he would love an evening hangouts. Awesome, Daryl. Heck yes. It's hard to make these during work. Right. Like, I get that. And I get that that's why we do a lot of stuff during lunch times, but not everybody is at lunch at 12, right? If I do it at something late on the Eastern time, like 9:30-ish, then people on the East Coast are probably off. I'm sorry, not East of the West Coast, are probably off work as well. And maybe done with dinner at that point or right before dinner. You know what I mean? I'm trying to find a really good sweet spot that makes it easier for people to join in, and then we can all have more engagement and interaction and build that group, right? This is all basically going back to you're my group, folks. And then we can kind of start having people on and stuff like that. Let's see here. What else we got? Wednesday night sounds good, says VJ Money. Wednesday night, says Kathy's. Tuesdays is best for me, says Wayne. Sounds scary. Okay. Tuesdays or Thursdays, Random X. Wednesday nights works. Wednesday seems to be getting... FedEx mentions that. Yeah, that's right. InfoSec Pat has Thirsty Thursdays. So maybe after Pat. I don't know if I want to like dovetail off of them. Might be too much for people to be on that long. Right? Again, want to make it as convenient as possible. But it's not a bad idea. It's just got to weigh the pros and cons, right? I almost did it again. I almost shocked it right down my windpipe. Let's see here. Daniel Helma says, the Cybersecurity IRL, the happy hour edition. Yeah, we could have some adult beverage instead of a Monster pour. Maybe it's, an adult beverage at that point. Watch me pour Four Loko. By the end of that show, everybody is just like, we're having a good time. Daniel's saying some fire stuff that it's kind of spicy, but hey, it is fun. Wayne's Real World says, but hey, I will be there, whatever you pick. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate the support and always showing up, man. Let's see here. Victor Rosa, what's up? Victor Rosa, welcome. Pranava Reo says from IT Pro TV. That's right. IT Pro TV is a name we will say. There is a name that it changed to that we will not. Kathy says it was probably CHV10. It's been a long time since you were there. Yeah. Network Chuck when he started the CHV10. Yep. Okay, so it must have been V10. Fred On says, I am all for it anytime, just considering a different hosting channel. Oh, you mean not on YouTube? Okay. Yeah, I might have to, if I'm going to have guests on, I would probably need to use like Restream or something. That might make it, it will make it, or maybe through Discord. That might push me to get that Discord channel rocking, right? We could do it that way. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So again, pros and cons. I will definitely consider it. Victor Rosa, I learned about you from your Security Plus training. Great duo, Wes and you. Well, thank you so much, Victor. Yeah, I had a lot of good times with Wes. Talked to him the other day. He's making some content right now. He kind of hinted to that on his LinkedIn. He had a LinkedIn post the other day. I was like, heck yeah, let's go. I love seeing Wes making content. We got Outlaw says, Tuesday sounds great. Okay. Is Daniel Winter? Dan Winter, are you in my chat room today, Dan Winter? Bro, if you are, you're reading my mind. I was driving down 200 over by the Rainbow Springs area. And I was like, I gotta reach out to Dan Winter. It's been too long. My man, dude, call me at lunch or something, or I'll call you. You tell me what's up. And we'll catch up. Let's see here. Sierra Montgomery says, late to the party, missed the pour. Happy Friday. All right. We've got Carrie saying, Python language is so snaky. It is a snaky language, but it's a good language to learn. Very useful. You can do a lot with it. I mean, AI, look at all the stuff that's done with ML and AI and data science and stuff like it is robust. It can be used fairly well. I'm going to get you through the basics of it because I'm no like super dev when it comes to it, but I'll get you being able to work with it. That's for sure. Let's see here. Wayne's Real World says, Alloy Innovator said, thanks for making a project. It is a better way to learn. Thank you. I totally agree. 100% on that. Where are we at? Oh man, we only got 11 minutes to go. David Tui, can we use the Altoro Mutual Bank test site instead of BWAP? Is that like a purposefully, because if it's a real bank, then no. But I'm not familiar with Altoro Mutual Bank. If it's one of those kind of like DVWA, BWAP kind of things, yeah. But you know what you could do? You could take what I'm doing with the BWAP, refactor the code so that it is specific for Altoro, if that is one of those things. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Carrie Chasen, back in the early 90s when I was in Okinawa and when I went into the mainland, Dragon Ball Z was so popular, they had art everywhere that said the Z was pronounced as Z. Yeah, they say Dragon Ball Zeto. I have not here. It's in another room. It actually might be over there on my shelf. I have tapes from Japan that are subtitled, but in the Japanese voiceover. Let's see. Wednesday night, I'm in a Bible study, says Carrie Chasen. Okay. Is it at 9:30 or does it end? I would start it late. Again, trying to make sure that everybody's kind of done with all their evening stuff as well. I get it. People have families. People have things they got to do after they get off of work. I do. I have a family. I have things I got to do when I get off of work. So I would wait until everybody's in bed on a good night. And now, kiss the wife. I'm going to go do CyberCast After Dark kind of stuff. All right, let's see here. FedEx says, it seems Wednesday is the best day, not tailing after anyone, and it's kind of low streamer day. Plus, it's also hump day. True that. Hump day. Gary Chasen says, I like Network Chuck. He makes things easy to learn, and he is funny. Dan Winter showing back up. I love it. Dude, call me, man. You and Wes need to do a live stream together. Maybe he would be the first good guest, right, to bring Wes on for that CyberCast After Dark. I'm definitely thinking about making this a reality, because obviously you guys seem to be on board with it. I wanted to do it anyway, but I didn't want to do it if nobody wanted me to do it, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that does seem to be Kathy Chambers. You want to be a guest? Well, you can schedule yourself. How about that? She knows what I'm talking about. She loves scheduling people. She's very good at it. But no, absolutely. I would have Kathy on any day of the week. You would actually be a phenomenal guest. I think you would make a great guest. I would love to have people like Kimberly Can Fix It on, right? Yeah, be so awesome. Computer Geek just subbed. I remember you from IT Pro. Well, thank you much. I appreciate the sub. You were awesome. Computer Geek. Let's see here. Carrie says, I didn't know it was that late. I'm okay with Wednesday, and that darn camel used camouflage. You bumped into him. Darn right. Wayne's Roll. Well, there you go, Daniel. Kathy volunteered. She sure did. All right, so I guess we're gonna make CyberCast After Dark a reality. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passed. The ayes have it. It'll be fun. All right. So that's fun. Thank you for helping me out with that. What else did I want to talk about today? Anything else that I had on my list? Fredon says he's thinking of Friday nights into the weekends. Yeah, but if a lot of people like to go out on Friday nights, it's a good night for date night. If you're like my age or whatever, and you have a family, someone did say, and I want to address that. I want to let them know that I saw and heard them. Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, there it was. The Pain. The Pain says, I don't have a family. Forced smile. You do have a family. You're looking at them. You're looking at them right there in the chat, right? So we support you. We're there for you, man. We're your family. Victor Rosa asks, would I invite Don Pizzette? I have nothing against having Don. Listen, Don and I are bros for a long time. Always have been, always will be. Unless he spits on me. Yeah. Spitting is a great way to get into a fist fight. Even then, I might just kick his tail and then pick him up and dust him off and go, you get that out of your system? Yeah. You good? You feeling strong now? I don't know what possessed you, but there you go. Let's go back to being friends again. Dream Logic Inc. says, thank you and happy weekend and happy Friday. Well, right back at you, Dream Logic Inc. Thanks for joining us today. Legrat says, hey, there's cousin at the Pain. Very funny, very funny. But yes, yeah, we're all kind of family here, right? We are chewing a lot of the same grass together, and that's what family does, is they're there with you, right? They support you, right? And that's what we're doing. Am I missing anything else? All right. So yeah, I think we went through a lot of good stuff today. We talked about all the cool stuff that everybody's working on. Shout outs to a lot of great people out there. Shout out Red Siege. Shout out to BHIS. Shout out to Antisiphon, Simply Cyber. All you communities are so great. Shout out to you who join me every week. This channel would probably exist without you, but it would just be me, and that would be just sad. I would still do it, and I would talk to a camera like there was somebody there, but if there wasn't, what are you going to do, right? But so I appreciate that you show up and that you talk to me and you meet me at conferences and go, hey, from like, I remember I met Tech Ricky. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I met the real Bilbo. I was like, oh man, dude, people with real names, real faces. And it's a lot of fun to actually be able to hang out with you in real life. So Nerd Family is still family. Right on, Tech Ricky, right on. That's absolutely true. And thank you guys for helping me out with kind of working through at least the preliminary stages of CyberCast After Dark. You get to say, I was there before. I was there when CyberCast After Dark wasn't a thing, and it will be now. We're going to have a lot of fun. Make sure that when we finally get it going, bring a friend. I have noticed we got, 5 minutes left. Let's talk about this real quick because it just popped in my head. Where's all the newbies at, right? I love all of you, right? I've seen a couple of newbies here today, but there used to be so many more new people to cyber. And I'm wondering what's going on. What is it? Are people, are we just going through like a contraction period, or has everybody kind of like figured out where those groups are and they've already found a home, they found a community, and they are plugged in? And if that's the case, then we need to make sure that we're not just sticking to our regular haunts. Don't get me wrong, don't leave them, but find new stuff as well. I'm constantly looking for new places and new resources and new voices to hear from. So get out there and find some new stuff and get plugged in and bring new people here. If put it out there, bring new people to Simply Cyber, bring new people to Anti-Siphon, bring new people to wherever, all your favorite places to go, bring new people. Get the word out. That's right. The Pain says, word got out that the job market is screwed and the quote, get 6 figures in 3 months were full of, what, shiitake mushrooms. We'll keep it kid friendly. I wondered if that was the case, honestly, right? So you see, marketers, I blame marketing and I blame grifters, right? They get out there and they become the loudest voice and they rip everybody off and they fill them full of hopes and dreams and, they don't deliver on it. Hey, listen, it happened to me, right? I told you about ITT Tech. Those suckers bilked me for like 45, 50 grand. And that degree is not worth the paper I put down the toilet, right? The best thing that came out of my ITT experience was my Linux user group and the stuff I learned with those people. I learned more doing that. And then of course that we would get into Active Directory stuff. We would get into networking stuff because I was in a networking track, and my other 3 friends were, one was in an electrical engineer track, and the other 2 were in a dev track. So we were constantly like learning stuff from each other. I would tell them about networking stuff. We would learn about hardware from our other friend. We would learn about programming from my other 2 friends. So it was like, that was the best thing that came out of that experience, was that group, not the class, because they grifted me. I was young. They had commercials on TV. They were an accredited college. What do? I wanted to get into this stuff. So I signed my name on the line. And I paid those loans back. I did not get forgiveness. I paid my loans off. When my wife and I first got married, she got like deep into Dave Ramsey and was like, I want to get rid of our student loans and all our debt. And I was like, cool, let's do it. And we lived like paupers for a while and we paid that debt off. People thought that like, if we went out to places, people legit thought we were struggling monetarily. And we'd be like, no, we got that. We pay for our meals and things of that nature. And while I was like, you don't have to. We have the money to to pay. No. I'm like, no, I'm serious. We can pay our phone. No. Like, but that's how tight we lived. And in 2 years, we paid off. We went on the Dave Ramsey show and did our debt-free scream on the Dave Ramsey show. It was a lot of fun. So you can thank Mrs. Lowry, who did join us this morning for a little bit, for prodding that. And she still is a big Dave Ramsey fan, and continues to be like, we budget and, stay on top of finance. I love that about her, honestly. I love that, because it's what helps keep her on the straight and narrow is that she has a program. And what's funny is, that she stays plugged into that community because it keeps her motivated. It keeps her going forward, hearing the stories. Maybe that's something we can do in CyberCast After Dark, is do like story time. Stories from the IT trenches, stories from the cyber job trenches. Here I got today, so-and-so went on a job interview. Tell us what it was like. Oh, you're on a help desk? Cool. What's some of your horror stories? What's some of your cool stories? What's some of your funny stories, right? We could have some real fun. So a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Potential. A lot of potential with CyberCast After Dark. Not that we couldn't do it here as well, but yeah, could be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Tech Ricky says late night stream may bring more people as well. Cool. More the merrier, right? Wayne's Real says preach it. FedEx asked me, have you heard about Meshtastics? Maybe a new addition for learning and build. Cool. No, I haven't. I will check that out. Meshtastics. Let me write it down. You see, I keep this little tool here. It's called a pen and paper. And it's a great way to write things down. Meshtastics. Thank you, sir. I will look into that. Anything else? I don't want to miss anything. My local community college. This is Tech Ricky. My local community college got me the same way. Yeah. I hope they didn't get you for too much money. But you didn't apply. They didn't have. FedEx says you didn't apply for the loan forgiveness. It wasn't a thing. I paid my loans off well before loan forgiveness was ever a thing. Yeah. What are you gonna do? All right. Waynesboro, what's crossing dreams, and what do you like to do? Okay. It looks like we're at time. Well, this was a doozy of an episode, kiddos. But thank you for joining me today. Look forward to next week, getting back in the trenches with you good folks and talking some more cyber and things of that nature. A lot of fun. I had a great time today. Hopefully you did as well. If you got some value out of the channel, you know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe. Follow me on all my socials. I'm on LinkedIn. Reach out to me. I'm more than happy to give you guys a connection request. You send me a connection request. I will happily accept. And then we can talk there in other ways, shape, or forms. Obviously, I got to get on some Discord action so that we have another way in which we can all interact together on a more permanent basis. So I'm just gonna have to put that on the fire and make it happen. FedEx says, I will the project tomorrow. I will just Meshtastic CTF. Very cool. Very cool. All right, everyone. Until next time, have a great day and keep hacking.